All right, folks, what's up? It's Sonny Wong. I'm back for another episode of Sonny Wong vs. Supacolor. And yeah, I'll take you along my process for that and show you how I drew it, or at least show you where it started. And then I'll show you the heat transfer. And then we'll press the shirt up and see how it turns out. Print with Wong. Gotta watch out, I got a bunch of cats running around here too. They're savage cats. All right, so this one right here is called Tales from the Terps, and I drew it on Procreate. So here we are, if you guys are familiar with Tales from the Crypt, this is like a parody of that. I'm doing this for a brand of cannabis in California called Wax. And you know, you can see, I got kind of busy. I got kind of busy with it. Colored it in, some of their products. So yeah, I drew it all on Procreate, and then I exported it as a ping without the purple background and imported it into Illustrator and set up some text that I needed on there, and then set that up in a Supacolor template, sent it to them. I got 50 of these pressed up. There's my cats right now bumping the camera, and here we go. I'll show you how the heat transfer turned out. So here's the drawing. It was like a screen size version of this, or maybe I might have planned it 11 by 17 or something. All right, now here's the transfer I got from Supacolor, set up on their, I believe it's the A6. It's the big one, it's the big size they have. But it turned out pretty tight. And when we get into the shop, I will put some light on this and you guys can see a little bit better. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked how it turned out. Supacolor has, I've done a couple Supacolor jobs since my last video. And Supacolor has reached out since my last video also and gave me some hints on, you know, how to set it. So I'll show you that too. All right, here we go, to the lab. All right, folks, here we are back in the lab. You might remember it from last time. It's just my old janky ass garage until I get a shop, which probably will happen pretty soon. Yeah, so here we are. We got the Tales from the Terps, Supacolor, heat transfer. You can throw it on a black Next Level t-shirt. Just see how it looks on the black. Almost all my shirts are black. But I did want to show you one time real quick. The last video I had that I did on the Supacolor transfer was my tiger. And I threw it on a crew neck sweatshirt. And I've worn this thing plenty of times and washed it all those times. And so since that video, I've probably washed this 20 times. And it looks just as vibrant as it did the day I printed it. And almost the benefit is that whatever kind of little ghosts shell there was around the design, it washes out. So yeah, I'm pumped. It's lasted a lot, no peeling up. And this was before I even knew that you had to, that you could, or they recommended you set the design after you transfer it. So this made me really confident, especially when I did some other jobs for people. I wanted to make sure that I was stoked on the quality of the print. And I am, you know, it's turned out great. Big up Supacolor. All right, so today for this Tales from the Terps, I'm gonna throw it on a Next Level, just on the front. I'll show you really quick how I do that. I got the transfer, or the heat press from Stalls. It's the Fusion IQ. I haven't tried the clamshell version yet, but we just got one at my office. So I'm gonna see what the difference is, other than this one has like presets, digital. I don't know if that's all necessary. So if you're out there and you wanna start pressing shirts, this one is dope, but I don't know if it's necessary. I would get something from Stalls though. It's just quality equipment. But if you can't afford that, I've seen lots of videos with a lot of other less expensive, just as fine presses. So here we go today. So on my palette, I've marked the center line. I have almost everything off that. And I'm just gonna lay the shirt on top of this. I'm not gonna thread it on. Just printing one side, so that's how I do it. It helps speed up the process if you're printing a lot of shirts. Every little thing that you can take out in that automation of that process saves you a little time, you know, and that over the long run, that might be 2 hours of time. You know, if you're doing a whole job, that would be 6 hours if you're threading it every time, as opposed to 4 hours because you skipped that step. For me, my time is valuable enough to like cut that out, cut the fat off. So I'm lining the collar on the center of my line there. When I drop it on, I try to come up the length of the garment so I don't have to like, I'm sideways or something. So usually it gets on there pretty close, and if it's off, it's probably only off like a 1/4 inch or something. And honestly, I don't know if that's any better than, you know, I did screen printing for a long time and there was a lot of variance in that. So far, the transfer stuff has been pretty awesome. I'm really stoked on it. I've done jobs for clients now who I don't even think they could tell the difference between a screen printed job and a heat transfer job. And I'm not saying one's better or worse. I used to always think that screen printing is better, but you know, my mind is being changed. So this is my #1 tool here for the front of the t-shirts, because this is 3 fingers width pretty much. I know that I set this at the bottom of the collar, that I want my design pretty much right against that. And it also helps me center the design because I know my platen is 16 inches wide. So if I set it on there, my design's gonna be on the 8, you know, simple. All right, so that's it right there. I hit the back of my finger on the back of the platen so that it's perpendicular here, and yeah, it's really easy. And you know, so for centering Supacolor transfers, the first one I do this on the first one, and then I pretty much can memorize what's going to happen. So I'm matching the design on either side so I can see like, okay, that's basically half and half. And then I'll give it a little tweak right there in the middle. And if I was printing a bunch of these, I'd know. I'd like, okay, it's just a little bit off the L. It's a little bit more towards the bottom part of the L, and I would never crease it again. I wouldn't have to because I know that. So here we go. Well, actually, you know what we're gonna do first? So we're gonna hit it with the pre-press. Almost skipped that step. But you know, this is really to get the moisture out. I live in Humboldt County. It's a little danker. My pressure was a little high on that one because I was printing some thinner shirts last night. I'm gonna take that down just a touch. This is ready to go. I'm gonna set that ruler up again. Tails from the Terps. I'm putting that little crease right on the 8. I'm basically making sure on either side of the transfer on my ruler that the same amount of material is on the ruler, so you know I can tell that that's going to be parallel to my gear here, perpendicular to my ruler, and here we go. So this is at 315 degrees for 20 seconds. I'm gonna let that do its thing. And then, you know, so on my last video, Supacolor hit me up, and so did a lot of people, a lot of you guys, and told me, you gotta hit it again after that, without even anything on it. And that freaked me out at first. Low and fast. Boom. And then I'm gonna hit it for 4 more seconds with nothing on it. You can use a Teflon sheet. I'm sure there's another type of sheet you can use too. But they just recommend that so that it sets it in 100%. Now look at that. Here we go. This is the first one of these in existence. I'm gonna be printing these up for walks here this next week. That's just badass, you know? I mean, if they're at a trade show and they're rocking these, people are gonna notice that stuff. So, Supacolor, man, this is something, if I was gonna go and get this printed at a screen shop, you know, I'd have to pay for all the setup fee for all the screens. I'd have to do a run that's big enough to make it worth the cost of the setup. And with Supacolor, I can literally do 50 of these, get 50 shirts, and knock them out. I mean, I could get 25 too, or whatever, but, you know. Anyways, here we are, Tales from the Terps, Supacolor, coming through again. All right, peace. All right, folks, there it is. Looking vibrant and fresh. All right, well, shout out to my homies at Wong for letting me do this illustration. Shout out to Supacolor for having just a dope product. Stalls, thanks for making heat press. Big ups. All right, to all y'all, if anyone has any questions or opinions or advice for me, my journey on this heat transfer t-shirt printing journey I'm on, leave a comment. All right, peace.